Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Okay, here we go on the Zaitoon FM show, the English program, the Ahmadiyya rape culture. It started in Qadian, it moved to Rabwa, now it's in Tilford. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Very quickly, very briefly, where did it start from? So it all started with Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And I'm on my dashboard of the blog, and I wanted to show you here in 1907. Um, in the Al Hakam, the Ahmadiyya movement, Nuruddin, Abdul Karim was dead, Mufti Sadiq, Muftari Sadiq, all these guys said Mirza. Someone asked, why is Mirza allowed to be touched by other women? What is it? What is this? They said, no, he's innocent. So this is the evidence that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was touching women privately. People were sending their daughters to go and get massages and operate and give Mirza Ghulam Ahmad the fan all night. This is the culture at Qadian. This is what the British government allowed the Mirza family to do. And it's sick and twisted. But the British government, they had the policy of divide and conquer. So they went to British India and they propped up all the minority groups. And they used them against the majority. So this was some of the perks that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad got as a result of his job. So, okay, he's touching all women. We know about that. Now, what about men? What about the men? Well, there's the famous story of Yar Muhammad, and it's coming up now. So, Yar Muhammad, this was the guy who would skip lines during Salat. He would skip lines during Salat, and let me just turn off my. So Mirza Ghulam Ahmad would be. Remember, he never led the prayer. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad never led Salat. They've lied about it and said he led Salat a few times. He didn't. So there was this guy at Qadian called Molvi Yar Muhammad. Molvi Yar Muhammad was so obsessed with Mirza Ghulam Ahmad sexually. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad would touch his inner thigh. He'd tap his inner thigh, and this guy would run over and start groping Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, stroking Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. It was this big thing at Qadian. And they never kicked him out. They never forced him to leave. There's witnesses. There's 20 witnesses of this raping. So that's where it starts. The rapings started at Qadian. They're all raping each other. They're all sexually molesting each other. They're taking advantage of children. They're taking advantage of the sensibilities of these silly followers who are like, you want my daughter? Take her. You want my son? Take him. So Yar Muhammad was that guy. And look, here's all the data. Here's the reference. And even the Khalifa, Mirza Masroor Ahmad, he did a video on it. It's on TikTok. Feel free to check it out. We've posted the whole thing. So these are the issues that were coming out of Qadian. And there's another one. Let me see if I can find it. In 1905, Mirza Mahmud Ahmad had the same type of rape allegations. Here it is. He raped someone's daughter, allegedly on the roof of the masjid. So what happened? And remember, the Lahori Hamdis told us about this. So what is going on at Qadian? Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's got 10-year-old girls with him all night. He's got men, fingering him during Salat, raping him during Salat. His son raped some girl on the roof of the masjid. On the roof, a girl's getting raped. Inside the masjid, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's getting raped. In Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's home, he's raping men and women. This is the rape culture. This is where it comes from. Then Maulvi Nuruddin, he becomes the Khalifa. They all still live together. All these families live together. Masjid Mubarak is on the roof of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's mansion. It's a small little area. It's a nook in comparison to the mansion complex. There's about 100 people that live there. There's another guy who lives there, Dr. Mir Muhammad Ismail. They say he was a doctor. He probably wasn't a doctor. He admitted to being a fornicator, to stealing from his family, to being the worst human. So he's also there. In fact, I think he was a member of the Southern Anjuman. So this is the rape culture. This is where everything comes from. It comes from the Mirza family. And the fact that they were given so much power by the British government. And even now, it's up to the British government to knock them down. Will the British government knock them down? We don't know. This has been their close friend for 125 years. Why would they knock them down? Why would they allow for justice? So this is essentially what the story is. So then Nuruddin becomes the Khalifa, and Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's widow, Nusrat Jahan, she famously calls herself the sex slave of the Khalifa. And the word is Londi. And the Ahmadiyya movement, of course, they spin every word, whether it's Hatam, Rafa, Mutawafika, whatever the word is, they're going to twist it. You name the word, they're going to twist it. So she calls herself the Londi of Nuruddin. That's strange. It gets published in his lifetime. In 1912, it's published. The world knows Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's widow, who still lives in the same house as Nuruddin, considers herself the sex slave of the Khalifa. Why? Because she was probably the sex slave of Nuruddin even before then. They were all sharing Nusrat Jahan. No doubt in my mind. And Mahmud Ahmad knew. That's why Mahmud Ahmad raped people. Everyone at Qadian knows. Muhammad Ali knows what's going on. So he doesn't want the family to become the Khalifa. He's like, how? There's no way. These people are all rapists. So then Mahmud Ahmad becomes the Khalifa. In 1914, the first thing he does is he marries the daughter of Nuruddin and then starts beating her. She ends up dying mysteriously. Check it out. In 1924, her brother was murdered back in 1915. So we're talking murders, sex scandals, you name it. And the British government has closed their eyes. They're like, hey, just as you know, back then it wouldn't get in the newspapers. It was all brushed under the rug. So he ended up killing her. He ended up poisoning her. It's not hard to poison someone in the village. So again, this is what we're dealing with here. So let me show you something else. Mufti Muhammad Sadiq, they end up getting a white lady to Qadian. How about that? Mufti Muhammad Sadiq goes to Sri Lanka to pick her up. Miss Bud. Now, they talk about Ahmadi women posting photos on social media. They posted this in their magazine. In fact, there's like 20 photos of these women, of these white women. So in the case of Miss Bud, they brought her to Qadian. So she was probably used by everyone. And then there's the famous case of Miss Rufo. Check out Miss Rufo. An Italian prostitute that the Khalifa is at the Cecil Hotel in Lahore, and then he brings her home. Is that the story? Look, it's all right here. And then he gets caught. Look, see these scans? He gets caught. Look, I got translations. And the Khalifa gets caught doing zina, having sex with his daughters down by the River Bees. He's got to explain himself. Check it out. He says, no, the reason I was so close to these women, I was teaching them how to shoot a rifle. So I had to sort of shimmy behind them and knock it off, bro. Knock it off, bro. It's all a lie, man. And then I'm going to show you another one. So the British government, they're not doing anything about this. They're letting the Mirza family run free. You think they care if they rape people? So here's the famous case where Justice Hosla, called the Ahmadiyya movement, fangled using sex drugs, right? And Bashir Ahmed Misri was involved in this. So Bashir Ahmed Misri tells his dad, Abdur Rahman Misri, Dad, the Khalifa asked me for sex. He raped me. His dad's thrown for a loop. His dad is a sheikh. His dad's a teacher at the Jamia. His dad writes a letter to the Khalifa. The Khalifa kicks him out immediately. No response. They end up murdering this guy, Fakhruddin Multani. He gets murdered, broad daylight, right after Jummah. Look, on August 7th, 1937, and I think he died a week later. And the Khalifa led the janazah for the murderer, Aziz Ahmed. And I got photos. You know I got photos. Oh, maybe I added them to the bottom here. Look, I got all the scans. I got all the photos. Like, what do you guys need? All the data is there. All the data is available. Right? So then check out Bashir Ahmed Misri. So this is everything. Mirza Nasser Ahmed knows about this. Mirza Tahir Ahmed knows about this. They all know what their dad's doing. They all know. It's not a big secret. What their dad did to their sisters. So, okay. Now, in 1947, they moved to Rabwa. Well, 1948, I think. I think 47, they moved to Lahore. And then by 48, they were in Rabwa. So now they got a private city to do whatever they want. The rapings start again in the 1950s. Mirza Masroor Ahmad is born. Rafiq Hayat, all these guys are from the same generation. They're all about 70 years old, 70 to 80. It's a Bagadat generation. People with low moral values. They're all raping each other. And remember, rub was illegal. I read in Pakistani land laws, you can't do what they did, but the British government allowed them to do it. So the British government enabled the Ahmadiyya movement, and they got them to get a private city where they could have this rape culture. And then it started. The rape culture started. So fast forward to now it's the 70s and the 80s. It's still going on. And then we have our brother Afzal Opal, who just came out today. Check it out. Here's his essay on the Indus Scrolls website. He's like, staying quiet is no longer an option. So I'm reading it. I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's talking about. And he talks about justice for Nida. He talks about the whole story. Then he says, well, I've stayed silent for 45 years. He says 40 years ago, he was sexually abused by a male relative during Jalsa. During Jalsa, it's a sexcapade. The boys and the girls are doing their thing in the parking lot while the adults are doing it to each other. It's the rape culture. So this was just published today. Feel free to check this out. So, okay. And you can see it on his Twitter also. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yep, it's all here. Check it out. So, um, now let's fast forward to Nida Al Nasser. She was getting raped as a child in Tilford at the Jalsa site. She'd go to Pakistan. They're raping her in Pakistan. All the main people in charge. So I came out in 2016 as an ex-Amity, Twitter account, blog, a YouTube channel, and I told all these guys, this has nothing to do with religion. The death of Isa al-Islam, the alleged death of Isa al-Islam, prophethood, it's all a smokescreen. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad never gave a khutbah Jummah. He never led the salat. He was into men and women, a bisexual. So is Mirza Masroor, Mirza Tahir Ahmad, Mirza Nasir Ahmad, Mirza Mahmoud Ahmad. All these guys are bisexuals. And that's okay. You could be whatever you want to be. This is 2022. No one cares. But the rape we care about. Stop raping people. So currently, in the Ahmadiyya movement worldwide, there's like 7 cases. You guys want to see? So let's just start in Allen, Texas. How about that? Allen, Texas. Let's just start in Allen, Texas, man, and see what the heck we got going on in Allen, Texas. And let's just see. So look, the face community, they did this whole thing on what happened to this kid. It was a 14-year-old kid. He was getting raped. He was getting raped by Mujibur Rahman, I think. Here, you want to see his photo? Oh, I thought I had his photo. No worries. The photo is out there. Here's the report. Feel free to click. Oh, yeah, here it is right here. The Ahmadiyya movement hasn't even commented on it. Why would they comment? They're not honest people. They're not going to tell you when they make a mistake. And now look, in Canada, this guy's going to trial. He was an employee, a Murabbi. In 2017, he was charged with online child luring, pornography, and extortion. This guy. Why? Because it happened to him. Someone raped him. And the Afzal Ball story, let me just go back to it real quick. He said in Rubwa, people would find out who had got raped, and then they would take him out to dinner and try to get some. And they would be sweet on him and try to get some. So he said everyone knew what's going on, but they closed their eyes. So here's another one. And then look, I can keep going. There's so many more. What about Imran Ahmad Khan in the UK? He sexually assaulted some kid. This guy. This is what they do, man. You know, all of these guys were raped when they were children. So now they rape other people. It's a cycle, in my opinion. So, okay, there's more. There's so many. And remember in Germany, a family killed their daughter because she had a boyfriend. Okay, and then and what about the story of Dr. Mehdi Ali Qamar? Are you guys following that story? The Ahmadiyya movement said, oh, he got killed because he was an Ahmadi. Not true. An Ahmadi killed him. His wife had him killed and ran off with some other dude. The Ahmadiyya movement probably knew about it. There's no way they didn't know about this. But they used it for marketing, for asylum. So, okay, what else? And then we got Nida. In terms of justice for Nida, they were raping her like it's nothing. And they raped her and raped her and raped her. So, brother, that's pretty much the presentation. Brother Farouk, are you there?
Assalamu alaikum, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes,
Hello?
sir. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Bashir Ahmed Shah. We have a few callers. They want to ask some questions if you allow.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll go with Brother Furqan first. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Furqan.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Farooq, first of all, confirm me whether my voice is clear or not.
It's clear, bro.
Okay. First of all, assalamu alaikum to Bashir Shah. Brother, you look handsome as always, bro. As far as the presentation is concerned, brother, I would really like to ask you one thing, and that would be my point of view. But in some sense, I would be, some kind of a disagree on just one thing. Since you just mentioned that the Mirza Tahir and the other Mirza, they are kind of a bisexual, no matter it's 2022 and none cares about. But however, since they used to claim that Ahmadiyya cult, I would rather say cult instead of community, they say that they are the true Muslims. So, and one more thing they used to claim is that it's only Allah Subhanahu wa Taala who used to, brings out the Khalifa by himself. So far? My question is that how far the Khalifa can be a bisexual? Thank you.
Yeah, well, he's an undercover bisexual. The vast majority of people don't know. And I hope I answered that, and I don't think I understood that question. Can you rephrase it?
Well, brother, my question is that because it's this question, it's just relates to you. I mean, I'm not asking to you, but rather it can be asked to the Ahmadi people as well, and that is that their Khalifa, how far they can be the bisexual. And so just told me that they are under a cover bisexual. One more thing is that do you really agree that the case of Nida is just highlighted is because of the social media? Apart from this, if we go way back before the social media and everything, still the rape and all these things were happening in the Ahmadiyya cult.
Yeah, it's all been happening, and it took a family member to really drop the bomb and really get everyone's attention. That's what it took. Regular people, the story wasn't getting out. Everyone was quiet, but now everyone is woken up. And when you wake up, you start to see things. You start to remember, hey, when I was a kid, I saw this or I saw that. For example, in Rubwa, some of the men would go to the Nasrat schools when the schools were letting out, and they'd have their hands in their shalwars and do all types of gross and nasty things. And looking at little girls in hijab, in full hijab. So these stories are now coming out. Everyone's realizing, when the floodgates open and everyone starts to look closer, you know, um, everything comes out. So I was on social media in 2016 telling Sahel Ahmed, he's a Reason on Faith. He runs the Islam Ahmadiyya Reddit forum. I was telling him all this stuff. He blocked me. He said, nope, Ahmadis are good people. They're not. Look at what Afzal Abal just confessed to. It's the same thing. And I used to always see Rubwa people, and I'd be like, what's going on with these guys? Why do they look like they're all rapists? They're all into men, and it's like this culture, and for them it's okay, and they all still get married, but they neglect their wives and hang out with their boyfriends all day. So that's the story, brother.
One more question, Bashir brother, and that would be the last one because we have Afzal from California as well. My question is that we have certain ayat in Quran regarding the Shari Parda. So my question is that how far the Khalifa, no matter anyone, it could be anyone, but talking about the present, so obviously it's going to be Mirza Masroor. So how far he can really interact with the Ahmadiyya women without having a proper parda? How can that be possible? Although it's been clear out, the Quran says with the transparency and everything. So how far he can deny the verses of the Quran then?
He doesn't care. They don't care. The Quran doesn't matter to these guys. I mean, the Khalifa was telling Nida that you need 4 witnesses for rape. Where's what? Says who? We've never heard any of this. It's not in the Hadith. It's not in the Quran. Why would you need 4 witnesses for rape? You know, in 2022, all you need is a rape kit, and then you don't even need any witnesses because the forensics can prove it if this person's DNA is there or not. So it's total nonsense. The Ahmadiyya movement does not follow Islam at all. They have a business model. They scare people into position. And if anyone ever said I was raped, they tell them, bring us witnesses. Well, who the heck's got witnesses for rape, man? Never happened. So I hope I answered that, brother.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Brother Afzal, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. How are you, sir?
So yeah, I'm just talking about the rape culture. And Brother Afzal Abal just came out and said he was sexually abused when he was 6 years old, 40 years ago.
Yes. Hey, I would like to ask this question on the same topic. Since Nadia is from the royal family and she came out and she really knocked their world, with all this, her evidence and claims and everything, which is very, very true. And also, what about those women which might or might not be from royal family, but they went through the same whole 9 yards within the cult and all the stuff, and all the higher member or even the non affiliated people, Qadiani people, abused them? Do you think that they will come out openly, or I can hear some of the streams, some of the women are talking about this and all this stuff. Are they joining with her on this platform which Nida is standing and joining her and saying, okay, we are with you, we are going to go to authorities with you, with evidence and all this stuff, and we are going to, disclose our stories and all this stuff? Do you think this is happening?
It's about to happen. We just had Brother Afzal Abal come out, and you're going to hear more. It's going to be more and more. It's going to snowball. So Alhamdulillah, now everyone woke up.
That's what we want. That's what we want, actually.
Exactly.
Because Nadia is good. She's very good. All heart and mind, I'm with her. I stand with her, and I really, really pray that she will achieve, and whatever she's having in her mind, whatever happened to her, they might have to compensate to her or all this stuff on all the crimes which they committed to her, especially when she was abused from the little child. This is a horrible crime. Brother, fornication is very clear that it runs in the family. Okay, outside the family, within the family, it's very, very clear. Now, with Nadia's case, incest is also coming out from within the royal family or from within the Qadiani families. They got raped by their own blood-related, relatives, father, brother, sister, uncle, and all this kind of stuff, which actually is really, really, really putting this whole cult in a position that they can't even open their mouth. Have you heard anything from Qadiani sides what their opinion is, other than just saying that, oh, this is all fabricated, it's all lie and all nonsense? Do you hear anything from within the Qadiani people, whether they are from royal family or not, doesn't matter? Do they ever say anything about it? Do they ever talk about it or not? I heard that they put restrictions on everyone not to even go to certain streams and talk with these people. But what do you think? What's happening? I mean, I know most of the Qadianis which I'm hearing on the stream, they come and they totally ignore everything and they try to defend the situation with their own way, which is totally nonsense, but they do. So what do you think about this? What do you take on it?
Yeah, they've been told to keep their mouth shut. That the average Qadiani has been told to shut up. Now, some people, you'll see my brother running around, Purim Shaw 74, on
Yeah,
Twitter and on
yeah.
Reddit. He's been given permission you can talk. Yo Han has been given permission. Razi has been given permission. Jariullah has been given permission. These very few people have been given permission to talk. And look, if you noticed, they just had a bunch of debates about the death of Isa and prophethood on their
Yeah,
streams.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
They're trying to distract,
Exactly. As if nothing is going on. As if nothing is going on. Everything is hunky dory and clear.
Right, everything's hunky. Oh, let's talk about the death of Isa last Islam, the alleged death of Isa. Right. So I listened to it and I'm like, he didn't present anything new. These are the same arguments they made 10 years ago. They waste an hour and a half making these arguments. Well, we're asking them to double check those arguments, and they never do. So it's all a smokescreen. They've been ordered to distract us. On Twitter, there's thousands of fake accounts that just came out trying to discredit Nida and etc. So they have a full strategy, brother. They wrote that essay. Oh, they're claiming there's a translation error. Same thing with the Quran. What do they say? There's a translation problem.
Translation of what?
Of Hatam, Mutawafika, Rafa, you name it, brother. You name it. They say
this is same old. This is the same old they will say.
Same old game. No, you guys are translating it wrong. Bro, the Khalifa told her to drop it. She hadn't went to the cops yet. The Khalifa
That's a crime. That's a crime itself. Yes.
That's a crime in itself.
Yeah.
Now, maybe the Khalifa will get off. He'll hire $1 million lawyer. They got him. Amjad Khan will fly to the UK and fight for his Khalifa, saying, no, there's a translation error. No, the Khalifa meant this. No, bro, that's a lie. Well, they don't care. They don't care if they're lying. They care to save the Khalifa. Maybe the Khalifa takes him to this private chamber and they get naked together and drink Shazan and watch MGA. I don't know. Or maybe they watch the Ahmadiyya Fact Check blog channel. I don't know.
Yeah, one last point, then you can take the next caller. The people you just mentioned that they've been given permission to talk on media or social media about the Qadiani cult. Your brother is among them, but I can tell you that they are doing extremely poor job. They are totally blown up, and they don't have anything to say positive or negative about this whole situation. And they are making the situation worse than they're trying to help their own, Khalifa. Right. What do you think about this?
Oh, yeah, it's a train wreck.
It's a train wreck, yes. It's a train wreck.
All you got to do is go to the Islam Ahmadiyya Reddit forum and see what Ahmadis are writing. All the young Ahmadis, it was already game over. Now it's going to be accelerated game over. The gas has been put into the fire. So, and now their asylum business is going to end. That might be the biggest thing we get out of this, is the asylum business over. And that's where their money's coming from.
Yeah.
Right? So let's see what Allah has planned, brother. Everything's in Allah's hands.
I hope Allah will, help Nadia, and let's see what will happen with this cult. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. You can carry on with your next caller, please.
Yep. Sounds good. And thanks for waiting, Brother Riaz from Mississauga. How's it going, brother? What do you have to say?
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'm a new caller to the English channel. I've been a frequent visitor and listener to Zaitoon FM Urdu channel. I'm not sure if what is the format of the question that we may ask, because it's not directly relevant, but it's a quite important comment that I would like to share with you. So do you allow me to ask that?
Sure.
Okay, good. Thank you. So first of all, really appreciate your efforts. I've been listening to Ahmad Karim Sheikh Saab for the past 15 years, and I salute him. And in the meantime, I was doing my own research. I'm not Ahmadi, I'm a Muslim, alhamdulillah. So, but no, I just out of um, I sort of sympathize with them in the early years. I had few friends, so they told me, "Oh, we are being persecuted, this and that." So I became, a bit emotional and a bit attached to them. And you should be. I mean, every human should be treated equally. So I started my research and I found some articles. So that's a bit of a background that I would like to give you. But the point I would like to make here is that first of all, I appreciate your website, man. I mean, you are good. You are absolutely superb. I salute you. I call it Amadopedia because
Thank you, brother.
you just
Thank you so
yeah
much.
it,
I just say
yeah it,
Alhamdulillah for everything, and hopefully I won't have to write anything anymore, and these guys will fold up, and it's game
no,
over.
we would like you to keep writing because just the other day I was like chatting with a guy in Africa, and he when I told him about some of the stuff that that's like that's open secret now, and this guy said, "Oh no, you're lying." And I was like flabbergasted. I said, "This guy doesn't even know the basic facts." I mean, I said, "Go check the book. This is the page number." "Oh no, no, you're lying." So I came to a point. Then I said, "Okay, I know what's happening here." So you need to write, man. You keep writing. So you're doing a great service. I'm not a very religious person, to be honest with you. I'm a straightforward. I think it's a personal matter, and I deal it with that. And I started researching Ahmadiyya on the basis of humanity. And I got, first book that Shakespeare mentioned was the Recognizing the Messiah by Nida Tahir Ahmadiyya.
Madhusa
It
Tanif,
was a
amazing book. That's an amazing one.
it was a sort of a precursor to your website. This used to be my source, and now your website is my next source. And whenever I have to consult it, I go there. So that's sort of background. Sorry if I've taken a long time. I apologize for that. So my question is not a question; it's a comment, and you can consider it a question too. And the question is, I used to go to Ahmadi.org, okay, and Sheikh Saab had put in so much effort and energies and everything into it, and then it disappeared because what he thinks is that they got it hacked. Well, my question is, what have you done? Because as I said, you're Amazopedia. I would like your resource to be available no matter what happens. So I know you're a techie guy. I mean, no, much more than he did at that time. Sheikh Saab. He did a great job. I mean, I'm not sort of belittling his efforts. And what I'm saying is that have you put in some safeguards to make sure that your stuff, your material, your research stays safe and they don't get a hand on them? So that's my basic question. I would really love to see that you have placed some safeguards, to keep them out. So that's basically my question.
Yeah, the safeguards are no one knows the password except me. I've not allowed anyone to help me. I've taken information from websites and people, and people send me information all the time, but I never gave up the password. Same thing with YouTube. And I watch it every day, 24/7. I'm monitoring it.
But
So,
have you backed it up?
yeah, it's backed up with WordPress.com. If it crashes tomorrow, there's a backup for every single essay. It's part of the package. It's part of like the premium package to have a backup. So yeah, brother, I've
Okay,
taken every
good.
precaution that I know of to safeguard the data. So
No, no, I mean, I just wanted to, because this is the first time I'm coming to your English channel, English Stream. But the first question that came into my mind is that, oh, this man, I know you're good. I mean, I listen to you, I see what you're saying. Sometimes I disagree with you, I mean, some of the languages and things are like, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not
yeah,
complaining. I still listen to you. But my point was that this guy has done so much effort, man. Because I remember I've been listening to him for the past like 16 years or 15 years, maybe, I'm not sure. But I, 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 I saw him. At that time he was passing through the difficult times, and it must have been very difficult for him to put in at that time that sort of material, and it disappeared. So that's all I wanted to know, and I'm happy that you have done that. Of course, I expected you to do that, but just to double check it. So carry on, brother. I mean, I appreciate that, and I thank you and your channel, Farooq Bhai, as well, for giving me time and to let me come in the channel and
Sounds
here's
good.
the
And,
screen.
well, one last thing. I was able to archive about 80% of the data that was on amnesty.org because I was there too back in the 2008, 2009. I was able to archive all that, the majority of the references onto the cult.info forum. And then from the cult.info forum, I migrated it over to the blog. So I've been able to save most of it. Um, so no worries. Thank you for coming. And I think that's it. Brother Farouk, are you there?
Thank you. I'll go back to YouTube. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Farooq, and good job. Keep it up, man. Thank you.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you, brother. And Brother Farouk.